Rapid City's population continues to grow. We'll have the latest numbers. A South Dakota Supreme Court justice and former 7th Circuit Court judge announces her retirement from the bench. And prosecutors and law enforcement give a warning to local businesses about selling some chemically altered hemp products. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. Business owners in KOTA Territory are warned to take certain hemp products off their shelves or risk facing fines and possibly jail time. Our Zeta Jones tells us what businesses and customers should know.
Synthetic cannabis is illegal in South Dakota, but that's nothing new. House Bill 1125, a law banning substances like Delta 8 and Delta 10 THC, was passed during the 2024 legislative session. However, a year after the ban went into effect, these products are still on store shelves. Wednesday, a joint letter from the Pennington County State's Attorney, Sheriff's Office, and the Rapid City Police was sent to 32 business owners to remind them of the law, a courtesy reminder before law enforcement checks begin.
We've left it to the business owners to know and understand the law, which is their responsibility. We're a year out now, and the sheriff and the chief of police and I thought this is a good time to say, hey, double check your stock. We've also received some information that there have been illegal products or are illegal products on the shelves.
This is ultimately on the businesses to know the products that they're selling. And then after that, the sheriff's office and the police department will do random checks to see if people are in compliance.
These chemicals are often found in gummies, vapes, or drinks, often labeled as legal THC, Farm Bill compliant, hemp-derived cannabinoids, or THCO. They may also list a specific cannabinoid like Delta 8, Delta 10, or THCO. While they were once legal, that loophole is now closed in South Dakota.
You know, a lot of these products are just one chemical off of what marijuana or THC is. That's how it was a loophole in the law. And so they have a lot of the same effects that marijuana would have. And they're unregulated, so you don't know what the potency is that people are getting. And, you know, a lot of these are in gummy form or vape form. So sometimes the kids or the youth are getting involved in this, so that's something that we're trying to curb.
Anyone caught selling them could face a misdemeanor with up to 30 days in jail and a $500 fine per violation. Reporting in Rapid City, Zeta Jones, KOTA Territory News.
Meteorologist Ryan Larmew says severe storms are possible this evening. He's in the First Alert Weather Center with the latest look at the radar. So, Ryan, how bad is it looking out there tonight?
We finally got some convection on radar, Jack, and it's starting to fire up. Wyoming, you're seeing the brunt of that right now, and let's take a look closer at First Alert Doppler radar for us here. You can see those storms firing up in Wyoming and Montana. Let's take a quicker look at one of the more potent storms. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in far northern Campbell County. This goes until 6 o'clock this evening. Hail up to a quarter size and wind speeds up to 60 miles an hour are associated with the storm as it stays fairly stationary over northern Campbell County. Could see some heavy rainfall with that too. Gillette seeing some thunder and lightning around the area along with heavy rain falling just to the west of town along I-90. Temperatures right now in the 70s and 80s across the area. 82 in Newcastle and Edgemont, 77 in Spearfish and Mud Butte, 74 over in Sheridan, and 76 in Gillette. These temperatures close to the Black Hills, generally in the 70s around the area. 77 in Sturgis, but these temperatures drop as the storms roll in. I'll have more details on that coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. After more than 28 years of judicial service, South Dakota Supreme Court Justice Jeanine Kern announced her upcoming retirement. Appointed in 2014 to the state's highest court by Governor Dennis Dugard, Kern represented the 1st Supreme Court District, which includes Custer, Lawrence, Meade, and Pennington counties. Before joining the Supreme Court, she served as a circuit court judge for 18 years and worked in the Attorney General's office for over a decade. Her retirement opens up a vacancy on the 5-member court, and the governor will appoint a replacement from candidates nominated by the Judicial Qualifications Commission. Justice Kern will officially retire from the bench on December 8th. Rapid City's population is steadily growing after seeing a 10,000 person increase since 2020, according to an estimate by city officials. The U.S. Census Bureau estimated the city's population to be approximately 75,000 in 2020. It's now shot up to nearly 85,000 as of 2024. That's a 3.05% 5% increase from 2023, making it the second largest percentage increase in Rapid City's population since 2000. The city's long-range planning division develops a Rapid City population estimate each year by using data including housing demolitions, approved building permits, and the 2020 census persons per household rate for Rapid City and Pennington County.
Every 10 years, the census gives us the population, and then every year after, we give a population estimate based on that census-approved methodology. And then when that 10 years comes up again, the census will correct our population estimate back to their exact population.
The population estimate data helps the city determine projected growth relating to community planning, infrastructure, housing, and transportation. The Rapid City Mayor and Council members could get a pay bump in the future. Today, the city's Legal and Finance Committee discussed a resolution establishing new wage rates. The City Council members' compensation hasn't been adjusted since January of 2011, when it was set at nearly $13,000 a year. The resolution calls for each council member's salary to be set at a little more than $21,500 annually. In addition, the mayor's salary would be adjusted annually. The city's finance director says since 2011, with inflation and the city's population growth increasing, as well as the complexity and intensity of a city official's job heightening, he wants to ensure their salaries keep up with annual inflation and the change in job duties.
One of the key things about it as well is just making sure that annually the salary for the council members as well as the mayor would be adjusted just in accordance to what the CPI index would be.
The measure called for the wage increase to take effect July 1st, 2026. However, the committee amended the resolution for the date to go into effect July 1st of this year. It will now head to the full council next week. A D.C.-based group says its proposal for the Big Beautiful Bill would bring lots of money to South Dakota small businesses. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley has more.
The Crowdfunding Professional Association has proposed giving an up to $1,000 tax credit for small business investments through regulation crowdfunding. Married couples would get an up to $2,000 credit. The tax credits would be 50% of the original investment, meaning somebody who invests $1,000 would get a $500 credit. The association is calling the legislation the Targeting Resources to Unleash Market Prosperity, or Trump Jobs Act. The act is forecasted to bring lots of economic activity to South Dakota every year.
Our projections say that this, if passed, this would bring an additional $1 billion in investment in economic activity into South Dakota small businesses.
Christie says the investments could create anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 new jobs in South Dakota annually. He says the association proposed the legislation to several members of the House. However, it was rejected.
They decided instead to continue with tax cuts for large corporations and for the ultra-high net worth individuals, as opposed to incorporating this for small businesses. So what we'd like to see happen is that we'd like to see the Senate pick it up and incorporate into the current proposals.
Christie says the legislation is a chance for the country to develop a stronger economy from the core.
Small businesses are the backbone, as most people realize, and unlike the corporate taxes or tax cuts, which can go to oftentimes foreign shareholders, this is really money that's kept local.
According to the Coalition for Crowdfunding American Jobs and Prosperity, regulation crowdfunding has raised more than $2.2 billion for more than 8,700 companies since 2016. In Rapid City, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
Monument Health is trying to keep your heart healthy at the Rapid City Public Library, and they're celebrating the opening of a new memory and assisted living facility in the area. Those stories are up after the break here on KOTA Territory News at 5:30. More care options are now available at Sanford Health's Good Samaritan Society St. Martin Village campus as they celebrated the grand opening of their new memory and assisted living facility. Unity Place was once the St. Martin Monastery. Today, it's the home to 10 memory care and 22 assisted living units. While St. Martin Village has many service lines from twin homes to assisted living, this will be their first memory care unit. Good Samaritan Society's senior director says it's important for the campus to have the new memory care unit as St. Martin Village is a continuum of care.
We are noticing more and more residents do need that memory care component that we weren't able to offer. So now we'll be able to offer that. So if you have a spouse in a twin home or independent living, then their spouse can come over to the memory care and have those services right here on campus.
McGroden added it's important for St. Martin Village to continue to grow in order to keep up with the growth of Rapid City.
We have extensive waiting lists on all of our service lines. So when you look at the campus as a whole, and even the Black Hills, more and more people are retiring out here. And so when you look at that age group and that population group and how it continues to grow, those are services that are needed.
McGroden added she is most excited for current residents to see how the campus is growing. Managing your high blood pressure is key to preventing heart disease and stroke, which is why Monument Health, the Rapid City Public Library, and the American Heart Association joined forces to provide a blood pressure monitoring station in the library. The station is free of charge to anyone wanting to check their blood pressure, access health resources, and learn about blood pressure categories. The station is the first community heart hub created in the Black Hills area. People will find an automated blood pressure cuff at the station. They can insert either arm in the cuff and need to sit upright. After hitting the green start button, the machine takes your blood pressure, and you will then receive a ticket with your readings on it.
How do we provide tools and resources and education for our patients and the community to have just a better opportunity for health literacy, health information, as well as access to resources like this?
Monument Health's Community Relations Manager said providing free health screenings in communities is one of their priorities. The organization plans to open more heart hubs in the Black Hills in the future. Well, thunderstorms remain possible for the rest of the evening. Meteorologist Ryan Larmu has the latest look at the radar and plans out the week ahead. Your accurate First Alert forecast is next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Larmu.
Jumping right on in, we have a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 for all of northeast Wyoming, all of southeastern Montana, and a sliver of far western South Dakota. This is a level 1 out of 5 risk. We could see some damaging winds and some larger hail associated with some of the thunderstorms there. Let's take a look at the one thunderstorm that does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. That one is in northern Campbell County. We could see hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter with this. We also could be seeing those wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Now, this is in far northern Campbell County, far north of Gillette, but we're also tracking thunderstorms near Gillette, a very strong cell just to the west of Gillette along I-90. That's plenty of lightning associated with that one, but we are tracking those thunderstorms continuing to push off towards the east ever so slightly. We're talking about thunderstorms possibly reaching Rapid City by 9 or 10 o'clock. Temperatures dropping into the 60s after sunset. And by the time we're waking up tomorrow, the rain stops, the thunderstorm stops, and we're in the 50s. Upper 50s once again for low temperatures at around 5 a.m. as you're heading out the door a little later on in the morning. 60s enter the forecast by 8 and 9. We're partly to mostly cloudy across the skies, but throughout the entire day, we'll see the clouds begin to decrease. Decreasing clouds, partly cloudy to partly sunny skies by the afternoon. High temperatures not getting warm at all. This is actually below average for this time of year. 70 degrees for a high temperature for tomorrow. But as we head throughout the next couple of days, we have multiple storm chances. Let's plan that out for you. This is tonight. Those thunderstorms still in parts of northeast Wyoming, moving into western South Dakota throughout the overnight hours. But by tomorrow morning, we're talking about those thunderstorms possibly up in northwestern South Dakota. Those clear out of the area by the afternoon. We could see a stray thunderstorm in some areas of KOTA territory. Not too sold on that, going to be widespread, but by the time we're getting to Friday morning, some showers possible along with some fog. These clouds right here that you see, those are some low level clouds, very thick cloud deck there that's close to the ground. That could lead to some fog on the South Dakota plains and in the foothills of the Black Hills. But let's plan out the rest of your Friday. We have another chance for some thunderstorms. Those will fire up in the afternoon and evening, sort of along a broken line extending from Montana all the way into Nebraska. This will push through KOTA territory throughout the overnight hours, possibly weakening as it moves further into South Dakota. But by Saturday, we're still talking about the possibility of some low-hanging clouds in the morning. But we do have a level 2 out of 5 severe risk for your Friday. That's a slight risk. That yellow color here, places including Sheridan, Gillette, Wright, Upton, Newcastle, all of Fall River County, much of Custer County, and parts of Pennington County and Lawrence County there included too. Other places included in that level 1 out of 5, including Rapid City. As we head throughout the rest of the night tonight, if storms are possible and a few could go severe, temperatures in the 50s for the overnight hours, 51 in Custer, 57 in Rapid City. Tomorrow, those temperatures make it into the 60s, 70s, or 80s, depending on where you are. The 60s likely in parts of northern South Dakota and southeast Montana, along with the Black Hills, 70s in most locations, a few 80s on the southern South Dakota plains. Decreasing cloud coverage, a stray storm is possible by the afternoon. Sheridan, we dry out on Saturday along with Gillette as temperatures for everyone make it back into the 80s. Some isolated thunderstorm chances continue for Rapid City Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So lots of rain in the forecast, but temperatures skyrocket for the weekend as we see celebrations for Father's Day on the warm side. But those thunderstorms on Sunday should hold off until the late afternoon, early evening hours, so we can still get out, enjoy the nice weather with Dad.
All right, and hopefully we can get through tonight without getting it too bad out there.
Hopefully so.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan. Coming up, some Rapid City Stevens student athletes sign on to play at the next level. Plus, the Rapid City Central football team has a new head coach. Vic Quick has all the details next in KOTA Sports.
Good evening, everybody. The Sasquatch had their 5-game winning streak snapped last night as they fell to the Oahe Zap 7-5. Isaac Martinez and Peyton Ford each had a pair of hits for Spearfish. The Sasquatch are now 7-7 on the season and will look to start a new winning streak tonight as the same two teams meet up in Pier. Now, Stevens standout Daylor Segrist has signed on the dotted line to continue his basketball career at Mount Marty. Segrist averaged 14 points and 6 rebounds a game this season, and we're out to earning honorable mention All-State honors. Well, after helping the Stevens baseball team reach a state tournament, Will Waddell and Tegan Smith will continue their career at the next level. Waddell is headed to Minnesota North Itasca, while Smith has signed with the North Dakota State College of Science. And after having success in high school, this group is now ready to show what it can do at the next level.
Well, I took my visit there in February, and there was no snow on the ground, so it was pretty nice. And it was only about 6-7 hours away, so it's not too far. And I really like the atmosphere because it's kind of a 4-year feel.
Strength of my game, probably my pitching, because my pitching's pretty good. My infield's good too. My back could use work, but it's also good, and just I work good with the teammates I have around me.
I do love tennis, but not nearly as much as basketball. I didn't really go for tennis in college, so yeah, I'll still play around a little bit, hit the courts a little bit, but not competitively.
The Rapid City Central football team has a new head coach as Mike McCauley takes over the reins of the Cobblers. McCauley is no stranger to the program as he played his high school football for Central. McCauley went on to play his college football at Chadron State, where he was a member of 3 RMAC Conference Championship teams. McCauley began his coaching career as an assistant at Central. For the past 7 years, he has been a defensive assistant at South Dakota Mines. McCauley was also named Rapid City Central's Teacher of the Year for this past school year. Former Rush head coach and general manager Scott Burt has a new job as he has been named the first head coach of the Greenville Gargoyles. The Gargoyles are an ECHL expansion team that'll hit the ice in October. Burt spent 4 seasons as Rapid City's head coach, winning 130 games. Their search is still on for the Rush's next head coach. Now we have some other ECHL coaching notes to tell you about, as former Rush associate head coach Chad Costello from this past season has been named the new head coach and general manager of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Former Rush player and fan favorite Riley Weslowski has been hired as the new head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones. Weslowski spent the past 2 seasons as an assistant with the Kansas City Mavericks. Weslowski was a member of the Rush's 2010 championship team and has his number retired by the organization. Good to see Riley Weslowski getting his chance as a head coach in the ECHL. Jack, with your hometown team, the Cincinnati Cyclones.
All right, and a little Legion baseball today?
That's right, Legion baseball post 320 on the road this afternoon. Played a doubleheader at Yankton in a pair of pretty good games. Post 321 game 1 by the score of 4-3. Game 2 went to Yankton in a tight battle by the score of 2-1.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. What's a new way to get kids to practice reading? We'll have that when KOTA Territory News at 5:30 returns.
Be sure to tune in to KOTA Territory News at 6 on Fox. We will highlight the challenges that people are facing near a homeless shelter on the Rosebud Reservation. Plus, why another town in South Dakota says it doesn't want a new prison to be built in their backyard.
But just the thought of it alone is, I think, the scariest part of people.
Those stories and more are at 6 on Fox.
Was there anything cuter than little kids and puppies? Even better when there's a purpose behind it. During the dog days of summer, the Humane Society of South Mississippi is offering a reading program for kids. Club Paws helps kids sharpen their reading skills by reading to shelter pets. During the summer program, kids can also make and share treats with the animals as a fun way to help reduce kennel stress and promote adoptions. I would read a story to a puppy.
I would too. I'd read a story to a kitten, a puppy, everything in between.
What a humanitarian you are.
And that's back from where I'm from, Gulfport, Mississippi.
All right.
Yeah, but
they love puppies there.
They do. But tonight we have storms in KOTA territory, and we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued for some areas. Let's take a closer look at one of the strongest storms. You can see that pink there behind all those little tiny lightning strikes. That is the hail core. We can see up to ping pong ball sized hail within this cell as it moves through Campbell County. This is a rural area of Campbell County, but still people live there. So be alert as that thunderstorm moves through. We're also tracking those thunderstorms bubbling up in Campbell County. Gillette seeing a thunderstorm.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.